Hi guys, welcome to our writer's workshop lesson of the day. My name is Miss Zapata, and today you will need your writer's book notebook, a pencil and a paper, and a student to be super focused. You already know this. We're always focused and actively listening to what we are saying, so you guys know exactly what to do. So we're going to talk about our objectives of the days. Our objectives for today are: I will show you how telling stories can help me with our writing. We will tell our story and we'll jot down the things we want to remember. And you will tell your story and jot down the important parts. So today we're going to basically talk about telling a story. We're going to be writing a personal narrative this next few weeks. And we're going to brainstorm ideas of things that we can write about and how we can create a more interesting story, how we can add details, and all those things. Yesterday, you guys created sketches of things you liked, right? Do you guys remember this? You were creating some sketches that included a personalized list of things that you know and you love. So, you guys remember why and how would this make us better writers? I want you to pause the video and think, why was it that yesterday we created that? And how does this make you a better writer, or how will this help us with our story? Okay, pause the video and come back. Okay, ready? You're back? You thought about it? Great. Yes, creating sketches will bring better ideas and more details, and we can have more details of that story. That's a way of using our creativity to expand on our writing. Now, today we're going to tell stories. Since we're talking about a personal narrative, we're going to we're going to tell stories about ourselves, about things that have happened to ourselves. And we're going to write down important parts of that story so that we can remember them when we're back writing. Because, first we plan and we are on the planning part of our story. So this is a way of planning. We're going to plan by telling a story and remembering the different parts that are important, that have to be in the story, that you can't forget. So why are we telling the story? Because this telling things will help me remember what I need to write about. Okay. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to tell you my personal story. All right. I'm going to tell you a story about me. So this is story time with Miss Zapata. Okay, so my story, I'm going to talk about the when I moved to Houston. I am originally from Venezuela. It's a country in Latin America. And I moved here about 4 years ago. So I'm going to talk about not the whole moving process, but about the day I moved to Houston, just that day. Because if we try to talk about a huge chunk of our lives, that's going to be a lot of writing, and we're going to be skipping important details, and that won't make our writing that interesting. So remember, we got to focus on one thing and expand on that thing. So my story is about when I came to Houston. So I'm going to give you a short version of the story of the day I came to Houston. It was a very sad day because I was leaving my family and my friends back in my home country in Venezuela. And we were on our way to the airport. We were all very sad. We were all talking, and I was hugging my parents very tight and telling them that I was going to miss them. I was trying really hard not to cry. Then it was time for me to board the plane. I said goodbye and I started crying. I got on the plane. I was feeling a lot better. And then when we were arriving to Miami, I had to stop in Miami and then go to Houston, catch the second plane in Houston. It was a big storm, so we weren't able to land. Our plane was circling around for several minutes when they told them that we needed to go and land somewhere else. I think it was like Key Biscayne. I don't remember where. So we had to land there. And since we were coming from outside the country, we couldn't leave the plane. So we had to stay there in the plane for about 2 hours. It was a very long time. I couldn't communicate with my parents. It was a mess. We were just there waiting. Once we got there, it was late, where the pilot said, okay, we can now go to Miami. They opened the airport. Once we got there, everything was closed and all the flights were canceled. So I was stuck in Miami by myself, with nowhere not without knowing what to do, because I was going to have to hop on a plane the next day. So luckily, my godparents live in Miami, so they went to pick me up at the airport. I slept over at their house. And then I came back to the airport the next day in the morning and I hopped on a plane to Houston. When I finally got to Houston, my uncle was there to greet me and my luggage wasn't there. So I had to call the airline, tell them that I didn't receive my luggage, and they said that they would send it the next day. So I had to go to Walmart and buy some clothes because I didn't have any more clothes. And when then I got to my uncle's house, and the next day I received my luggage. I'd say that's the end of my story. So now I'm gonna write down the important parts of the story that I need to include in my writing. So these I need to jot them down. This is what I did. So I put the title up here and it says when I moved to Houston. So first thing is the first detail, I left my home country, Venezuela. Second detail is how I was feeling. I was super sad. Now, these are important things that we know we need to expand on. This is not all our writing. So then there was a big storm and the plane was not able to land in Miami. Okay. Then we had to land for a while in a different airport, but we couldn't get off the plane. That was terrible. Then another point is when I finally got to Miami, all flights were canceled. Then my godparents picked me up. That's another important detail. The next day I was able to get a flight to Houston. When I got to Houston, my luggage did not. Okay, those are the things that I wrote down. This is the example. So you can pause the video here and look at the example of how I did it for you guys to do it. Because now, guess what? It's your turn. So think about a short story about your life. Remember, we're not going to talk about when I was born back in 2000. And then I was a little kid and I started walking. That's a very long story. That's a whole biography. That's a whole book that you're going to write. Okay. So write about something specific. It could be something funny. It could be something sad. It could be something scary that happened to you. Okay. Think about a short story about your life. Take some notes of the most important things in your story. Make sure they are in correct sequence. So another reason why we do this is that we're able to put things in sequence. If we go back to my story, everything's in sequence. What happened first, what happened next, and what happened at the end, okay? And then take a picture of your work and upload it, okay? Upload it to your teacher where she tells you in your Google Classroom, in your turn-in activity, whatever you have to upload, okay? You got it? Okay, remember, you can always go back and reference this video if you have some questions, okay? Don't forget to turn in your work. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.